Just be yourself. Those were the last words the left sock ever said to the right sock. Before the hands, commanded up in management by the brain, terminated the left sock because the hole had spread embarrassingly wide Swiss cheese feet. In some ways, the right sock was thankful for the recession. You see, if it weren't for being broke, the right sock would have been thrown away too. But still, he was lonely. And maybe that was worse. Myself. How can I be myself, thought the right sock, who lately had played the role of the left with other mismatched pairs. I've never been myself. Sure, I wrap feet up to keep them warm, but that's just what socks do. Except for those unfortunate radicals who are forced into the subculture of sock puppetry. They make a mockery of soccery at large. The right sock then amused himself for a while, entertaining ideas about how much worse off and miserable some other socks are. Some are rocked off, he'd heard. Some stretch thin with that pathetic warm elastic, some plaid, and some carry an odor. A stench that never quite leaves, no matter how often the beastly washing machine beats them. And others still are humiliatingly hung from mantles and stuffed with cheap plastic crap once a year until they're tucked back in the boxes. How dreadful. Imagining the ways the other socks were worse off than him cheered the right sock up for a time, but then made him feel even more lonely. He'd grown tired of empty distractions and wished the toes would want to warm him up close together, keep them company on a walk, little pastries in the oven. Myself. How can I be myself when I'm not myself anymore? No other sock folds up with me the same wool, striped, thick, business casual. Mostly all one-night stands. Myself. And so the sock thought he ought to write his dear missing left pair a eulogy. But that was too depressing. So we settled for a story. The sock wrote, "Once upon a time," and then he scratched it out. This was no fairy tale, and besides, it was all more than once. In French, there's a verb for states of being in the past that occurred and continuously but no longer happen. Thinking about it made him tense. The French socks always seemed so seamless and smooth, those sheer nylon, silky, sexy socks the sock wrote in the not-so-distant time that still can... Oh, no, it's all wrong. The sock poured himself a drink, just to stretch the fibers. The sock looked around the drawer and saw the other pairs embracing each other. Ugh. He poured himself another drink. It's the feet's fault, really, decided the sock. Another drink. And then another. The sock got hotter. Fucking feet. I should slice off the left and then there'll be no need for two socks anymore. The sock, for a moment, tried to stop his plot against the foot, but he couldn't heal. He was totally engrossed in his plan. Drunk and angry and consumed with utter rage and despair, he sang, "This little piggy went to the market, and this little piggy stayed home, and this little piggy had roast beef, and this little piggy had none, and this little piggy ran all the way up to the Achilles, and attended to the ankle, and hacked it off, and watched it bleed, dangling veins fizzing like hoses all around. Shh! I'm trying to sleep, said the underwear. Fucking neighbors, said the sock, who poured himself another drink. Now, the next morning, the sock awoke in his own piss and vomit. Naturally, he was taken to the laundromat to hydrate and clean up. Exhausted and dizzy and embarrassed and feeling even more alone. Amongst the rest of the soiled clothes, the sock hopped beneath the dryer and to think and ponder and re-evaluate his life. That's when the music came. Trumpets and joyous drums, a real New Orleans jazz sound. I better believe there was brass and sass, and the sock squirmed further and further beneath the dryer, and all the quarters and the keys and the bus transfers were there too. Vibrant colors and dancing food, so much spicy, delicious food. There were clowns and acrobats and strippers and pie. Now those smiles seemed to slide out of the eyes, and the sock wiggled closer and closer and closer to join into the circus, but the dryer was too hot. It was so hot that the sock caught fire, and he burned into the ashes. The fabric smoked in smells of singe and singed cotton, and the last thing that the sock thought was, I can never just be myself, because I'm defined by others like me. This, of course, was quickly forgotten, because it wasn't very profound. Thank you.